friends, welcome back to our chapter reading. We are continuing today with Bear Country, Barely a Misadventure by Doreen Cronin, illustrated by Stephen Gilpin. So we're jumping in now at chapter 3. Before we do anything drastic, said Dirt, I think we need to confirm that Barbara isn't actually in the house. For all we know, she's in the basement doing laundry. Dirt has a point, said Sugar. We'll do a quick search of the house. Ring! The squad jumped at the sound of the phone. Ring! Answer it, cried Poppy. It could be Barbara calling for help. Ring! Hello? Said Dirt, tilting the left from the weight of the receiver. Then she nodded. May I ask who's calling? She furrowed her brow. Just a moment, please. Could you imagine a chicken answering the phone? It's for you, said Dirt, handing the phone to Sugar. He won't give me a name. Sugar here, said Sugar into the phone before turning back to Zippy and the squad. A little privacy, please. She motioned for them to give her some space and then spoke into the phone again. I see, said Sugar, nodding slowly. Are you certain? Asked Sugar, beginning to pace. Big thing, brown, scary? Asked Sugar, nodding for another minute. Rabum? You're certain? I see. Sugar placed the receiver back on the hook. Who was that? Asked Dirt. Dangerous Danny Finnegan, said Sugar. Guinea pig who lives in the house behind us. Owes me a couple of favors. What's a big brown scary thing? Asked Dirt. A bear! Yelled Sweetie with a mouthful of pineapple. Wait a minute. That was too easy. Rabum? Asked Dirt. No idea, said Sugar. Dangerous Danny mumbled something about a headless bear and a funny sound, but he didn't have a breakfast this morning either, so I'm not sure he's thinking clearly. How did Dangerous Danny know to call you here? Asked Dirt. A little bird told him, said Sugar, turning to Zippy. Now, we're going to need the hammer. What on earth for? Asked Dirt. Hammer with a capital H, said Sugar. She's a house mouse, tiny little thing, spends most of her time in the basement. Why do they call her the Hammer? Asked Poppy. That's a good question. I wonder why they would call a house mouse the Hammer. You don't want to know, explained Zippy right before he let out a long, slow, deep whistle. Then 2 short, higher-pitched ones. A small gray mouse appeared from someplace behind the oven. Hammer, you know Zippy, and this is the squad. Dirt, Poppy, and that rolling ball of rainbow down there is Sweetie. They exchanged polite nods. Did you happen to see Barbara in the basement this morning? Our Barbara? Replied Hammer. Yes, said Dirt. The Barbara in the house? Asked Hammer. The one who feeds you and takes care of you? That one, said Sweetie. Tall lady, brown hair, pretty blue eyes, smells like gardenias? Asked Hammer. Yes, that one. Drives a silver pickup truck? Same one, said Sugar. Lactose intolerant? Asked Hammer. Did not know that, said Sugar. Yes, the same one, shrieked Zippy. How many Barbaras do you know? A long, steady whistle leaked out of his face. Well, if you're sure that's the Barbara you mean, I can confirm she has not been in the basement today. Thanks, kid, said Sugar, tossing the mouse a strawberry. Hold it, Hammer. One more thing. You didn't see a bear down there, did you? A bear? Yeah, you know, a bear, replied Sugar, possibly without a head. Big, grumbly, kind of brown thing? Asked Hammer. That's the one, said Sugar. Sharp teeth, long claws? Asked Hammer. Bingo, said Sugar. Lives in the woods and never ever in anybody's basement? Added Dirt. Nope, no bears, said Hammer. With or without a head. Shocking, said Dirt. Another thing, said Sugar. Do the words rabum mean anything to you? There's Hammer. Rabum, repeated Hammer. Yes, rabum, repeated Sugar. Like the sound of a drum? Asked Hammer. Not at all, answered Sugar. The sound of a drum is like boom, bap, bap, boom, bap, bap. Well, I thought I heard a rat-a-tat-tat, 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 said Hammer. But that doesn't sound like what you're looking for here. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. You sure? Pressed Sugar. Not ra-bum, ra-bum, ra-bum. I'm sure, said Hammer. Thanks, Hammer, said Sugar. See you around, kid. You got it, Sugar, said Hammer before she disappeared under the stove. Okay, now we know for sure that Barbara's truck is still here. The basement is still clear. Nobody's upstairs, and Dangerous Danny could really use a healthy breakfast, said Sugar. How do we know all that? Asked Dirt. The birds confirmed that the truck was in the driveway, and they looked in all the windows upstairs, said Sugar. When did they confirm that? Said Dirt. 2 minutes ago, said Sugar. Didn't you hear the birds chirping outside? Yes, but I hear that all the time, said Sweetie. What did you think they were doing? Singing about sunshine and daisies? Zippy chuckled. Well, sort of, said Poppy. That's sweet, kid. Really sweet, said Sugar. They also told me the mail was coming. Which leaves us with one important question we need to answer, said Sweetie. If 3 birds are chirping and Hammer is back in the basement, on which side of the street will the mail truck park? Is that a division question? Asked Dirt. My head hurts, said Sweetie. North side, said Sugar, leaning her head toward the open window. Confirmed. I didn't hear anything, said Dirt. Do you think the bees out there were just randomly buzzing around, sipping nectar and making honey? Well, yes, said Dirt, sort of. You're not listening, kid, said Sugar. You're not listening. There's the bees outside. Chapter 4. The squad followed Zippy out the back door and then settled under the mail truck parked at the curb. Fill him in, Zippy, said Sugar. This truck is going to take us half a mile closer to town, explained Zippy. Nancy Lee has been on the route for the past 9 years. She parks the truck, then walks east for a quarter of a mile. At the last house, 3 blocks down, she turns around, crosses the street, and delivers the mail on the other side of the street, heading back to the truck. When she gets here, she's going to roll up the back door and drive 1/2 mile where she'll begin deliveries again. Now they're under the truck getting the information. So all we have to do is figure out how many houses there are in a quarter of 5 tomatoes, suggested Sweetie. Then divide that by how many houses there are on the north side of the street. And that will tell us approximately how long before she gets back. And show your work. Sweetie was breathing hard. It's okay, Sweetie, said Dirt. You're going to be just fine. That's one way, said Sugar. Or we could just look right at her. She's 15 feet away. When Nancy gets back on the truck, explained Zippy, she's going to slide the rear panel up and we're going to jump in. Isn't she going to notice 3 chickens, a hamster, and a rainbow ball of yarn hopping into the back of her truck? Said Dirt. Not if she's distracted, answered Zippy, as Nancy Lee's dark shoes appeared just inches from the back tire. Zippy and the squad held their breath as Nancy rolled the back door open. Distracted by what? Whispered Poppy. Just then, Nancy Lee screamed and dropped her mailbag as 6 bees did a choreographed flyby very close to her head. Go, squad, go, said Sugar. Zippy and the squad hurried out from under the truck and hopped into the open back, taking cover behind a white plastic mail bin. The bees flew away and the back door rolled down. I don't feel good about that, said Dirt. She could have gotten hurt. Male honeybees. No stingers, explained Sugar, purely for show. 1 minute later, Zippy and the squad lurched forward as the truck came to a sudden stop. Get ready to jump when the door opens, announced Sugar. Won't she notice 3 chickens, a ball of rainbow yarn, and a hamster hopping out of the open door? Asked Dirt. Doubt it, said Sugar as the back door rolled open. said an orange and white striped cat with sparkling green eyes. Well, aren't you a beautiful little kitty, said Nancy, turning away from the open door. Zippy and the squad took cover behind the rear tire and, when the coast was clear, followed Zippy's lead to the rhododendron bush at the entrance to a small park. When they turned around, the cat was right behind them. Knuckles, said Sugar. Been a long time. You look good. So Sugar seems to know lots of animals that her siblings don't know. Chapter 5. A little bird told me you were on your way, answered Knuckles, reaching out for the sweetie ball of yarn and rolling it back and forth between her two front paws while the birds chirped overhead. For starters, you can roll that ball of chicken over to Zippy, said Sugar. Knuckles obliged. We're looking for someone, said Sugar. Wondering if you happened to see Barbara come by the park this morning. Your Barbara? Replied Knuckles. Yes, said Dirt. The Barbara in your house? Asked Knuckles. The one who feeds you and takes care of you? Yes, said Poppy. Tall lady, brown hair, pretty blue eyes, smells like gardenias? Asked Knuckles. Bingo, said Sugar. Drives a silver pickup truck? Asked Knuckles. Same one, said Sugar. Lactose intolerant? Asked Knuckles. Apparently so, said Sugar. Has a sister in Buffalo? Asked Knuckles. Did not know that, remarked Sugar. Yes, the same one, shrieked Zippy. How many Barbaras do you know? A long, steady whistle came out through his teeth. Well, if you're sure that's the Barbara you mean, I can confirm she has not been in the park today. Thanks, Knuckles, said Sugar. Did you happen to see anything out of the ordinary this morning? Asked Dirt. Well, answered Knuckles, those blue and white streamers on the telephone pole aren't usually there. Interesting, said Sugar. Anything else? Well, the park is empty this morning, and that's unusual, said Knuckles. You're right, that is weird, said Dirt. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and there's nobody in the park. Wait a minute, said Sugar. Anna was up early this morning. Barbara isn't where she's supposed to be. We haven't seen Mom or JJ. And there isn't one kid in the park. Dirt rolled her eyes. Did you hear anything unusual? Asked Sugar. Like rabum, rabum, rabum? Nope, said Knuckles. How about rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat? Asked Sugar. No, said Knuckles. But I did hear a bubba-rum, bubba-rum, bubba-rum. Not a rabum, rabum, rabum? Asked Sugar. Nope, definitely not that, answered Knuckles, walking away. Hey, Knuckles, Sugar called after her. You didn't happen to see a headless bear in the park today, did you? A headless bear? Replied Knuckles. Yes, a headless bear, answered Sugar. Big brown thing? Asked Knuckles. Yes, Sugar answered. Long claws, kind of grumbly? Asked Knuckles. Yes, answered Sugar. Lives in the woods and never ever in a local park? Added Dirt. And almost always with a head? Come to think of it, said Knuckles, I did see a headless bear in the park this morning. You did? Said Sugar. Yes, said Knuckles. And that didn't strike you as unusual? Asked Dirt. Come to think of it, said Knuckles, bears do usually have heads, don't they? All right, friends, we are going to stop right there for today. Join me back next time and see what these crazy chickens figure out. See ya.